World of Tanks is widely regarded as a game that has an incredibly long learning curve, and for the most part, this is entirely true. It can sometimes take hundreds of hours to be able to truly master the mechanics of World of Tanks. I know it took me that long. But with a bit of guidance, the road to mastery of World of Tanks can be much easier. Join me, where you will learn to become a masterful tanks player. Join me in the Tank Academy. This first episode is going to be for the most basic aspects of World of Tanks. This mainly includes basic tank movement, controls, and certain essential settings that need to be enabled or disabled. Most players overlook these small aspects of the game, but I guarantee they will have a massive impact on your gameplay if you utilize them correctly. The absolute most simple point of World of Tanks is how to move your tank and tank turret. You use the W key to move forward, the S key to move backwards, the A key to move left, and the D key to move right. Fairly standard stuff. And you need to remember, your tank is on tracks, which means you can turn left and right without moving forward. This isn't Forza, and this isn't Assetto Corsa. You do not have wheels. You are a tank, not a car. You do not need to have any forward momentum to turn. Your turret follows your mouse cursor as a default. If you move your mouse right, the tank turret turns right as well, and so on. You can also press the right mouse button to lock your tank turret and prevent it from following your mouse. This is incredibly useful for looking around corners and just checking around you in general. The gun on your tank is controlled by both your mouse and your keyboard. The cannon is fired by using the left mouse button, like most shooter games are. You can also go into a precision sniper mode using shift, which can allow you to hit long-range targets much easier. You can zoom in while in the sniper mode using the scroll wheel. This will allow you to see the enemies at distance much clearer, but be warned, this does not make your tank any more accurate. Speaking of accuracy, the big circle in the middle of your screen is your gun reticle. It indicates where your shell can potentially go if you were to fire at that moment. The longer you stay still, the smaller your reticle will be, and the more accurate your tank will get. The more you move, the bigger your reticle will be, and the less accurate your tank will get. The minimap is a part of World of Tanks that is often overlooked by players. Do not make this mistake. The minimap is one of the most important parts of World of Tanks that we will discuss in another episode. For now, all you need to know is that the plus key makes it bigger and the minus key makes it smaller. Make that son bitch as big as possible. There are also a series of settings that will be essential to your success in World of Tanks. The first setting is under the General tab of the Settings menu. When you first open the Settings menu, on the right hand side of the options you will see Enable the x16 and x25. You are going to want to enable this setting. This allows your sniper mode to zoom in 16 times and 25 times, compared to the standard 8 times. This is huge for when you are trying to hit someone at a truly long distance away with a bit more precision. The second set of options is still in the General tab, but you need to scroll down a bit. On the right hand side you will see settings that say Show the Proximity Circle, the View Range Circle, the Maximum Spotting Range, and the Draw Circle. You want to have all of these enabled. What they do exactly will be discussed in a later episode. For now, just check all the boxes. The next option is going to be in the Marker section of your settings. The way I have my settings set up, I feel, is the optimal way for these settings to be oriented. It allows you to see the exact amount of HP an enemy vehicle has left, so you can see how many shots you need to depend to make sure that that fucker dies. The rest of the settings are all under the Battle Notifications tab. The first of which are under the Fire Direction Indicator. You want to turn on the Advanced type of battle notifications. This gives you far more information when you get hit. It tells you what tank hit you, from what direction, how much damage the enemy did, whether or not the shell penetrated. It really is a plethora of information. The next series of settings is in the Battle Events section of battle notifications. You are going to want to have all of these enabled. It is again to give you as much information as possible. It is basically a temporary log of what happens in the game, and it just gives you one place to see everything. It makes your life a bit easier, less looking around all over the screen trying to find information. The third series of options is in the log subcategory. You are going to want to, again, have all of these options displayed at all times. And again, it is just for ease of access for the information, so you're not going on a wild goose chase to figure out how much damage you did. Normally, you would have to wait for the end game results to see how much damage you did, how much spawning you did, etc. in a game. This option displays the amount of damage you have dealt and more in real time. In the map border subsection, you are going to want the border wall to be displayed at all times. This is simply to make sure that you don't run into the map border thinking you are able to go past it. The final subsection is battle reports and missions. You are going to want to have all of these options to be displayed. It shows the cumulative health of your team and the enemy team, the difference between the two teams' health remaining, what tanks are still either active or have been eliminated, and more. Most, if not all of the options in battle notifications are entirely for quality of life, and I personally find them essential to my World of Tanks experience. This episode was entirely meant to cover the very basics of World of Tanks. No advanced strategies or anything like that. This series is meant to ease beginners into the game, and dropping bush mechanics and armor angling on their heads is not a good way of doing that. We will eventually get to that, but for now, we are just going to stick with the basics. Join us in the next episode as we venture into the different tank types and what style of tank is best for you. So, yeah, that's about it. I'm Unbearable. See you next time. If you enjoyed this video, please consider checking out my other videos. If you didn't enjoy this video, then why are you still here? Go do something that you actually enjoy, you idiot, instead of watching a World of Tanks guide that you think is shit.